Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to some more Let's Play Dwarf Fortress. It is the Steam edition, or the so-called Premium edition, and this is our YouTube Let's Play with kind of a tutorial-y kind of vibe. Last episode, we did leave off, I believe, with a strange mood getting started. Now, I have put in, actually, I've more or less played a full game of Dwarf Fortress Steam Edition on my own since then. Started Fortress from scratch. I got to 175 population before I decided maybe I should go to bed because it was something like 3 o'clock in the morning. So getting a better handle on the DF Steam Edition user interface and whatnot, and very excited to apply some of that to what we're doing today. But first, we are going to be dealing with this strange mood. Also, we might get a new pop-up in a second here. So, just to recap, surface over here, we've got our base. We got to get some walls up really quick. We're gonna start to see some enemies relatively soon. We need some defenses. We need a militia squad. We'll be taking care of that hopefully ASAP. I might do a little bit of tweak to the farming. I think I've improved my workflow for this as well. And then we keep going down. We've got plenty of minibles over here. My apologies, my voice might be a little bit out of whack. About 3 days ago now, I woke up with a really weird, wonky sore throat that I can't pin down, and it's still there. I don't know. I don't know if I should be checked for like strep throat or something like that. But it's mostly fine, but it's making me sound really weird. Hopefully it clears up soon. All right. If I go ahead and unpause here, because Imush has claimed a carpenter's workshop. If we go and take a look at that. So this is the workshop over here, and we can take a look. So we have a strange mood. So there's a strange moods come in a variety of different flavors, which we don't have to get into the specifics of. But there's some good ones and there's some very scary ones. And this dwarf wants to make an artifact, Imush. What they do is they go and they claim a workshop. The workshop they're claimed is based on their skills. There are certain skills that are known as mutable. And so if someone, for example, has metal crafting skills, they'll likely grab a metal crafter's workshop. Carpenter's workshop is usually someone who's got, say, woodworking of some kind in here. And then if you click on the workshop, you can find out what the person wants to be able to make their artifact. Now, if they have all the materials, they actually go and grab it right away. But clearly with Imush here, the material is not all here. So we're going to need to figure out what that material is. Because what happens is if someone gets in a strange mood and they're not able to build their artifact, then they go insane and permanently insane. So Imush here wants Tree of Life. That means logs. Blocks, bricks. I believe that means stone blocks. I guess that would be it. Okay, just those two. I'm sure we have wood. Yeah, we've got some wooden logs just sitting over here right now. That's okay. We can always cut down some more trees. That's okay. But I believe that they're looking for stone blocks, not boulders. So what we have here is we have a boulder, a chunk of rock salt, right, from our regular mining operation, but we don't have it in block form. So what you can do at a mason's workshop, sorry, a stoneworker's workshop, mason was what it's called in Classic, it is a stoneworker's now, is you can make blocks. And it's actually quite good. So you can see here rock blocks. What this will do is we'll take one boulder and cut it into, I believe, 4 blocks. And what's neat about this is, for example, when you build walls, a wall can be built out of one boulder or out of one block, which means if you make blocks, you actually effectively multiply the material for the purpose of construction. There are a few other tasks in your fortress that require blocks, but generally speaking, that's it. Mostly you make blocks for construction. And so there's no reason you have to make blocks. I'm a big fan of building things with blocks because blocks are lighter to carry than entire boulders. Plus, it just seems like a cool thing. But I'll go ahead and put one manually queued job over here in the stoneworker's workshop. So someone should go ahead and do that. The other thing I want to do is take a look at our work details over here. More and more experimenting. The default kind of work details and the default behavior for the dwarves actually seems pretty good. It seems like even if we go, let's say I delete that metalsmiths, okay? For miners, we have to have only selected because it's a gear-based thing. You can't do everyone does this. Same thing for woodcutters, same thing for hunters. But the rest can be enabled, and it turns out your dwarves actually kind of do the right thing, basically. When a job comes up, they do seem to weight it very heavily based on whoever's got the most skill. So it's actually incredibly useful to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the specializations for things, except for Minotaur. I'm going to leave Minotaur dedicated to mining because they are legendary at it, and I really want them to only do that one thing. So Minotaur only ever mines, but we're basically always going to have mines that'll keep them busy. But otherwise, I'm going to trust the system for now to do kind of the right thing. Oh, I'm going to say everyone does this. Everyone, sorry, fishing, yeah. Fishing is also sort of equipment-based. In fact, I don't know if I need anyone fishing anymore. I'm going to just flip it to nobody does this for now. We can turn it back on later if we want. Okay, I think that's going to be okay. Anyway, at some point, someone's going to go to the stoneworkers workshop and cut us a block. Hopefully relatively soon. We got a few people without jobs, so someone should be doing that. Please. Because we need that for our mood. Come on, who's going to do it? Make rock blocks. There we go. Aerith. Over here. I go and follow you. Is she carrying a rock right now? She doesn't seem to be moving quickly. So she might have grabbed the closest rock to where she was. Yeah, I think that's it. She's not moving very quickly. Rocks are incredibly heavy. Ideally, if you want to move rock boulders, what you want is you want a stone stockpile with a wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrows let you carry heavy resources a lot faster. So she's going to go and cut that. There we go. So we've cut that into chert blocks. And there you go. I've tuned my announcement file for Dwarf Fortress to have pop-ups for some more of these events. So the Strange Mood was showing up on the left-hand side over here without real pop-ups. It would show up in the list, but that was about it. I have now got it set so it actually shows me pop-ups for some of those actions, which I find very useful. So Emush has gone ahead and grabbed a block. There we go. She's got a chert block in here and the date palm wood logs. You can see the little arrow showing that these are being used. We've got some other things in this workshop kind of cluttering up because we've asked the workshop to make buckets and barrels for us, but there's not enough stockpile space for that. So we're going to have to expand our stockpiles probably, I guess, now. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to keep being lazy and use a mega stockpile that allows basically everything. So I'm going to go up one level. This floor over here, I'm not really doing anything with this floor. It's right above my main, well, currently my main floor that's got everything on it. I'm going to go and issue a mine command. So I'll keep it relatively low priority. They don't have to rush to do this. If I tell it to do any other mining, it can do that first. But I'm just going to go and carve out an area kind of around these stairs. And then I'm going to turn this into a catch-all stockpile because right now the goods are just going to start cluttering up our workshops, which is not good because the workshops can actually get so filled with stuff that they become cluttered and then everything happens much more slowly. There we go. We've completed our first artifact. Oso Dolor. Assad Lalor. A date palm wood door offers its kernel keys. And you can take a look at these artifacts. I guess it just zooms to the artifacts. I believe over here we've got objects. There you go. So its name is Bone Letter. So Assad Lalor is Dwarven for Bone Letter. And we can view... how do we view the artifact in this version of the game? I guess this is just the description here. Yeah. Date palm wood door, all crafts worships of the highest quality. This object menaces with spikes of date palm wood and chert. And it's valued at about 2,000 dwarf bucks. So your dwarves can basically make an artifact out of pretty much anything. They can choose pretty much any type of object to make an artifact out of it. Artifacts are worth more. They tend to, are they indestructible? I think they might be. And they make your dwarves pretty happy. We could install this door somewhere. Maybe we'll save it for like an important noble later on. We'll give them a fancy door to their special room, something like that. That might be okay. All right, let's unpause again over here. Keep the game going as much as possible. I'm really bad for pausing too often. And now the workshop has been cleared up over here, which is great. Now, the other thing that's quite great, I believe Imush over here was the dwarf who just went on the Strange Mood, right? If we take a look at her, no, I think I'm right. But, oh, it's possessed. Okay, so like I said, there are different strange moods. Some of the strange moods, when you complete them, make them instantly into a legendary whatever skill. So that was a carpentry job. So if it was a different type of strange mood, I much might have come out as a legendary carpenter. Unfortunately, this one here does not do that. I think dwarves only make one artifact in their lifetime ever. And actually, here in the digital version, it actually says creator of Asad Lalor in the little describer. I don't remember that in the classic version. Did I say digital version? And Steam version. I'm used to talking about board games having multiple versions, right? A physical version and a digital one. Okay, so we've carved out all of our bedroom space. Let's go ahead and make them into proper individual bedrooms for our dwarves, which will make them a lot happier than sleeping in the dormitory. Now, what I want to do is I want to go and put doors on each one of these rooms. Now, if I click here, by default, we've got select material after placement. We're going to put keep building after placement because we want to put down a lot. We get to choose, and you can see Asad Lalor, man, my voice is really borked, is in this list. So we can use this to install it. Now, these are regular bedrooms, so I might prefer the other types of doors over here. But keep in mind, if I switch to the super lazy mode, which is use closest material, it'll probably end up grabbing that artifact door in its automatic grabbing. Now, that might be fine. Like, it might not be a big deal to use the artifact door over here, but I don't want to save it for something else. I could install it somewhere for now and then deinstall it later on. That's a possibility. We'll just do that currently. That's going to be okay. Do I have automatic door making? No, I don't. I'm wondering if it would be a good idea for me to keep just 10 doors around all the time. I don't know. Maybe we'll just make them on demand. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 more doors. Rock door. We might put a standing order at some point. But for now, we'll do that. Do we have beds? For beds, I can definitely use the closest material, whatever that might be. Okay, no, we have no beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really? I went with 9 over here. Let's make it an even 20. Put it on default priority. Do something like that. Okay, so we're gonna have 20 bedrooms. We already have 3 beds over here, so we need 17 more beds. Well, actually, I might keep 1 dormitory here for overflow as we get new migrants. So maybe I'll leave those 3 beds there. So I'm going to ask for 9. Oop, thank you for saving the game. I'm going to ask for 19 more beds to be created so that we can fill in everything over here. Chugga, chugga, chugga. I keep my autosave on seasonally. I have to say, the game has been extraordinarily stable. I know some people were having some crashes at first. It seemed to be related to something in the user interface if they were using a widescreen monitor, which has been fixed in the first patch. So it is, to me, a lot more stable than my classic Dwarf Fortress. Admittedly, I play Dwarf Fortress DF Hack, which probably introduces a lot of those crashes. So let's ask for make bed. And, you know, I really like queuing up things just through the work order system rather than individually queuing things up at workshops. And I'm going to ask for 19 beds, please, to be made. Great. How are we doing on logs and things? Okay, we do not have... Well, we have enough logs probably make our bed order, but I think I'll go ahead and chop a few more. I don't know if it counts the logs that are just sitting on the surface. I think it does. I don't think it has to be in a stockpile to count. Okay, there's not that many big trees here. Oh, there we go. So we'll flag a couple of trees to be cut down. That's going to be okay. Yeah, no merchants over here. That's fine. I got pop-ups for the merchants enabled as well. So check the description. Hopefully I'll include a link to my announcement file that fixes some of these pop-ups. Should also take a look at this. Winter's arrived. Masterpiece mug. Migrants. That's an old message. Yep. Some of our jobs finished. We struck various resources. Okay. And then we're getting messages here about jobs. Oh, I should unpause. Failing to complete. I've gone and tweaked my work orders now so that we are checking our materials a little bit more carefully here to avoid. It doesn't matter, but I just didn't want the alert spam to be as frequent as it was. Carpenter, 1 bin's completed. Yeah, so we can't drink from fruit because we don't have enough fruit. which is okay. We don't grow fruit, we pick it, but we've got two. We got brew drink from plant and brew from fruit. So the brew from fruit here, I'm betting, is another example. Oh, I don't think it had these criteria before, but now we've got it in there, so that should be okay. I might do a little bit of plant gathering on the surface. I think we've got a fair amount of idlers here. Now, what you can do is you can make a gathering zone, and your dwarves will automatically, whenever plants mature in that zone, will go and pick them. The plant gathering zone is also what you use to pick fruit from trees, assuming you've got step ladders. But I'm not going to worry about it. All right, we'll just pick up a little bit on the surface over here. We do have the surface farm, although again, a surface farm's not terribly exciting. It's not very dwarfy, I guess, what it comes down to. So I don't end up using surface farms too much. Okay, we do need to get some defenses. We do need a military. I think I might start by building a wall first, though. And I really like to make walls out of blocks, as discussed. So here's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to put in an order to make some blocks. And I think it's going to be a standing order where we try to keep a good number of it around. So I'm going to make rock blocks. I'll make them in groups of 10. It's going to be a fairly bulk job. Where the number of rock blocks, if it's less than, I don't know, if it's less than like 50, so this will keep between 50 and 60 rock blocks around. This will be really useful for rapidly doing some construction. I think I like that. I guess I'll put in this, so we need greater than 10. In fact, to a certain extent, this should be, it should default to the at least 10 for the check. Because greater than 10 means it'll only trigger if we've got at least 11. Which might be fine, because I guess I want to keep some of the boulders around. It's very, very small little difference, but I'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to have a new job where we constantly make rock blocks. And I'm going to want to get them in a stockpile on the surface. And the reason for that is we're going to be doing construction up here, and it'll be really convenient if our blocks are up over here. Oops. All right, bit of a misclick there. Let me try that again. Make a little stockpile here, except it's just going to be for blocks and so-called bars, but well, so-called bars. But you can see this category is encompassing a lot more than what we're looking for. I don't want metal bars. I don't want actually bars of any kind. I just want stone blocks, not even metal blocks, not that we're making any, or blocks of glass or wood. Don't want any of that. I just want stone blocks in this stockpile at the top. So they're going to get stored there. Now, oh, that's interesting. You brought a bin. Do blocks go into bins? They might. I think that's one of the other things that makes them so much more efficient. They can be stored. Yeah, because of course you can have bar/block bins, which does make them a lot easier to carry around. So we will go ahead and use that. That's going to be great. I'm also thinking I want to maybe make sure all the blocks get over here. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a take command on the stockpile. So if I click this button and I say take, and then I click on the stockpile over here, what should happen is if there are any blocks in here, a hauler should move them into this stockpile at some point, which I think is very much what I'd like to do. The other thing I could do is I could go to this stockpile and just tell it it's not allowed. Oops, wrong button. Just tell it it's not allowed to have stone blocks. I could go and forbid those there, but I think I'll just do this. That's going to be fine. How's this area? Oh, this is coming along very nicely. Maybe for this one, I will actually forbid bars and blocks. Or you can actually take from multiple stockpiles, so maybe I'll just do that. I'm going to grow this stockpile in a bit. For now, I'll just do this. I'll say all, except I don't want corpses. I don't want most refuse, although bone and shells are okay. They don't rot, and we do use them for crafting. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. And yeah, over on the surface, I'll do the same thing. I think I'm doing this right. I don't tend to do this. Boom. Done. So again, hopefully if there are blocks in here, they'll get brought to the surface. And right away, dwarves are going to be very busy taking a bunch of stuff out of the stockpiles, which had been overfilled, and put them into that bigger stockpile over there. How are our door and bed jobs coming along? Yeah, they're coming. They're coming. Okay. There we go. Chert blocks coming in. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to wait for a good amount of blocks to come in before we start building some walls. I guess I could start on some of these bedrooms. We might have enough to do one side of this. Let's find out. Door. Okay, I'm going to install our artifact door in the dining hall. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to be sort of sitting there just for looks, right over here. It should give... Wait, did I already use it? Maybe someone was hauling it. That is entirely possible. Someone may have been hauling it, so it wasn't in the list. Let's try this again. No. Okay. Where are you? Oh, yeah, it was reserved. There was a little indicator there. Someone was indeed grabbing this. It's not in use anymore, so I'm not sure what's going on here. I assumed someone was going to move it to a stockpile. Oops. Sorry, cancel. Yeah, no, there it is. Someone's grabbing it again. And now it's gone. Okay. It's definitely getting moved to a stockpile. That's exactly what was going on. So we'll just give them another beat here. And presumably, it's going to be dropped off. All right, let's try one more time. There it is. Okay. So, yeah, we'll get the artifact door just installed over there. So when people are in a dining hall, they're going to see this beautiful door that doesn't do anything. But then it means I can go and be lazy and do closest material again and not worry about using the artifact and then get, like, just losing track of where it's installed. At least now we know exactly where it is. And we can uninstall it later on when we're making maybe like a noble's room or something. All right, get those doors in there. I guess the other thing is we're going to get beds. We're still waiting for a lot of them to get constructed. Oh, no, I guess they're happening quite quickly, actually. There we go. Now we're out of beds, still waiting for some more. But at least we can get some of these bedrooms sorted out. All right, we are getting some cancellations for fruit. That's okay. Some jobs are finishing. That's fine, too. Well, Piggy has grown. And we struck some more gems, probably while doing this area. Oh, this thing here, we're going to go and click on repaint the stockpile. And I'm just going to drag it out here. So, huge mega stockpile covering this whole area. Good, good, good. Okay. Yep, leaf for fruit. Well, part of the reason I did another harvesting over here is I was hoping that we might get some more fruit just to satisfy that. I might go and cancel that fruit job. Got no one trading right now. We still have some resources sitting in the stockpile, but I guess that's one of the reasons for making the larger stockpile over here. Is we'll be able to finally move some things from the surface. Yeah, lots of dwarves busy storing items in stockpile. Hopefully, we can finish a lot of this hauling soon so that dwarves can enjoy some time off, spend some time socializing, which is something that they need from time to time. Actually, one of the things that might be really useful right now, yeah, priority for regular mining. I'm going to expand our dining hall here because I'm going to make this double duty and serve as a tavern as well, which should keep things nice and lively. We got one dwarf who's not quite super happy. Hopefully we can start giving them slightly better thoughts. Okay, all these beds have been installed. Let's make a zone. So the zone button is over here, or the Z hotkey. We're going to go to bedrooms. And what we can do is we can paint each individual bedroom, but it's much easier if we hit multi, and then we just drag over here. As long as we drag actually over the beds, it's kind of all you need to do. What it's going to do is auto expand the rooms to cover everything up to the walls and doors, and separate them into 10 separate bedrooms, which is really handy. Now, these bedrooms, you can assign a bedroom to a specific dwarf. However, if a bedroom is not assigned, dwarves will claim them. So next time someone needs to sleep... Oh, Aerith over here? Yeah, Aerith has now claimed this bedroom. This is her bedroom now. Forever until, well, we either assign her a different bedroom or she dies. All right, this room has been carved out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another zone, call it a meeting area, and zones can overlap. So we're going to do this huge area over here. We do get a complaint about overlapping, but that's okay. I think it means they won't get the same quality out of the whole thing, but it's going to be okay. I suppose I could shrink it down to not overlap, but I'm going to make it in/tavern over here. This tavern name was called the Blockaded Muffins. We can change it, but it's kind of hilarious, so I love it. And so now we can have this. We can choose whether all visitors are welcome, so that includes outsiders, or if it's limited to residents and long-term residents, or only our own citizens over here. But yeah, we'll leave it as is, so we'll have some outsiders. I guess I will change it. Tell you what, I will go and remove the overlap. I don't think it's a problem. Oh, is it overlapping on these rooms over here? Yeah, see, that's at this point, I think it's just being cranky in a way that doesn't actually matter. I'm actually a little surprised it's still complaining about the overlap. But yeah, it's not actually a big deal. Hey, you can see a lot of our animals are come down here to hang out. But there you go. Now, the tavern would like some goblets stored in here. Goblets are a type of, are mugs. This is the generic title for any drinking instrument. And speaking of instruments, they would also like some musical instruments stored in here so they can have a proper party. What we're going to need for that is we're going to need some storage. So we're going to need something of the chest category. And in particular, I tend to like to make rock coffers. And in fact, I'm going to make some for our bedrooms as well, so that the dwarves who take these bedrooms can go and store their personal goodies in their own personal chests. So we know we have 19 bedrooms over here. I mean, it's 20 with the dormitory, but 19 bedrooms. And I'll make an extra couple for the tavern. So let's ask for rock coffer, not coffin, but coffer. And I'm going to make 21, I think I said. There we go. All right, our automated block job is happening. Yeah, I forgot. Since we can do bins up here, we really didn't need this big of a stockpile. But that's okay. We'll just do that, and we can always just delete it later on, and the bins will be moved back downstairs. That's going to be A-okay. For now, I'm actually fairly happy that we've got this. I wonder if we should add a wheelbarrow to this. I don't know if it matters. But I'm going to go ahead and request a wheelbarrow in here, and we'll have to build one. So again, a wheelbarrow can be used. Let's make a wooden one. A wheelbarrow can be used to move heavier objects around. There we go. Just make one wooden wheelbarrow for me, please. Okay. How many blocks am I up to? 16 rock salt, 51 chert. Okay. In normal Dwarf Fortress, you cannot specify with your block jobs what the materials they're made out of, but you can link a workshop to a specific stockpile, and stockpiles can choose material. So we could have a stockpile that only stores chert boulders, and the workshop linked to it, so it only makes chert if you care about that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and wall this off. So we're going to go into build and construction. And then we're going to make walls. I'm going to select materials after placement here. And what I'm going to do is drag out this way. Now, I'm pretty sure in Classic you could shift enter on a type of material to grab as much as you need. So we need, I'm drawing out a wall 17 tiles long, so we need 17 blocks. Unfortunately, this is going to require for me to click on the required block 17 times. Then what I'm going to do, I think I'll make it tight here. I'm going to drag across to here. And same thing. If I hold Shift, Control, Alt, yeah, no. I'm just going to have to click a bunch of times. Hopefully that's something that gets adjusted relatively soon. All right, I'm just going to leave this here. Obviously, I want more walls. I want to enclose this. But I'm still waiting on more blocks to finish it. So I'll get them to start constructing the walls while the block production is still happening. Again, we're going to try to keep about 50 blocks around, which actually I guess we'd hit with this, so we want to start spending the blocks. The other thing I could do is I could ask for a one-time job of, like, make me 100 blocks or 200 blocks, just so I have tons of them ready to go. Keep in mind, you get 4 times. I guess I would queue up a job of, like, say 50, because then that would give me 200 blocks. So we'd do the job 50 times. I guess that's the other thing with my rock making job. Currently it makes 10, or it does it 10 times, which actually is 40 blocks, but that's okay. We do want quite a bit. So we'll let that run for a little scooch. You see? Look at this. People are hanging out in the tavern. How lovely is that? I think we should smooth the all of the tavern walls here. Make it look really nice. We might go and engrave it later on. We'll probably want to smooth these bedrooms later as well to make your dwarves happier. Just makes the rooms more impressive. Helps give the dwarves really happy thoughts. Can I go and... Oh, I only have the one bauxite door and that's it. And then I'm out of doors. All right. Still waiting for doors. Probably still waiting for beds as well. Interesting that I did. Okay. Brew drink from fruit runs 10 times. Oh, it must already have a job in the queue because it won't start one because it doesn't have enough. That might be what's going on here. I'm surprised actually that we didn't collect more just fruits and things that are plant gathering. More berries and whatnot. Oh, there's some prickleberries over here. If I tell you to go and harvest, say, this area, wonder if that'll give me enough just to wrap up that job and have it stop spamming errors. Again, they're not a problem. We have the coal. We might go and dig out that coal later on, but for now I'm just going to keep this area pretty. Because the default world building in the Steam version involves like really ridiculous number of minerals, I don't think we have to worry about taking advantage of any minerals we run into. You know, there's bituminous coal on this level, but we're going to run into tons of it. And there's more lignite over here, which is another like coal bearing material. So I think we're going to be okay. Hey, there we go. See, since we have a tavern, we are now getting visitors. And if the visitors have a good time, they will actually ask if they can join us. Is that the same coal? It is the same coal. There you go. Even more visitors. Lovely. And actually, we could go and make our tavern into an inn as well. Which might be a lot of fun to do, actually. You know, we'll get a bunch of non-dwarven people joining or asking to join our fortress. But that's not really a bad thing, is it? So I'm going to make a bunch of 1x1 bedrooms over here that are going to be linked to the tavern. All right, and we'll do something like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 12. So let me ask for 12 more beds. And we'll need 12 more doors. I think I am going to automate, because we're going to need doors all the time. I'm going to have a standing door job over here, which is very simple. If you have fewer than 10 doors, make some doors. I think I'm going to make like 5 at a time, so we could have up to, well, effectively 14, I suppose. So there you go. If we have fewer than 10 doors, queue up a job to make 5 doors. And we'll have a good pile around all the time. Maybe that might be more doors sitting around than we ever really need, but I think we'll appreciate having the convenience of it. So speaking of, I would really like to get all these bedrooms done, but we're still waiting for more doors to be constructed. I wonder if I should get a second stoneworker's shop. Especially with the block making. Yeah, I think I should. You do want to double up on some of these that see a lot of load. Stoneworkers is definitely one of them. In fact, I think I'm going to build... Well, just one for now. I was going to build 2. But we don't really have that many dwarves anyway. But I'm going to get a second one. So now the work order system is going to start queuing up stone jobs at both of these. So theoretically, things will get made twice as fast because they'll get a second dwarf in here. There you go. Blocks and coffers have been queued up at the second workshop. And the first one is making coffers and blocks as well. So we'll be making a couple in parallel. That should hopefully be very helpful. Let's see about building more walls over here. I think I'm going to leave a little gap around this building. Oh, shoot. It's unused as closest material, which might be fine because there are a lot of blocks, but there might also be some logs on the surface. You can always deconstruct it if we're not happy with the look. But there you go. The other thing is different blocks have different colors, so you might want to color coordinate your stuff, you know, if you're that kind of person. But I think I'm going to go and do that. Rock salt is going to be interesting because it's going to be pink, but you can see there's a little bit of bauxite over here. Would have been nice to make it all out of chert, but that's okay. A mishmash of colors is going to be okay. All right, so I've left a 3-tile wide opening over here. And the reason is to reach your trade depot with wagons, merchants need a 3-tile wide space to reach. If you had it more narrow, then merchants would still come, but they wouldn't bring wagons, which means they would bring less stuff and also be able to carry away less stuff, which really limits your trade. So we're going to leave a 3-wide opening over here. Now, we do want some safety. We don't want enemies to be able to just walk in here. So what do? Like, doors are a possibility, but doors have to be touching a wall. So I don't think you can have 3 doors over here. You can do double doors, as we've certainly shown. But I don't think triple doors are an option, unless I'm wrong, which is possible. But more importantly, what we want is something more definitive than a door. We want a drawbridge. So we're going to go into constructions over here, and we're going to pick bridge. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag out a bridge over here. Notice that you pick the direction that the bridge opens. So it's by default here, it's going to open towards the left, which is perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little 3x3 bridge over here. It needs 3 blocks. We'll go ahead and make it out of, you know what, I'll make it out of microcline. It'll be a blue bridge. There we go. So this is going to be where the bridge is, and when it opens, or sorry, when it closes, I guess, when it raises, it's going to raise here and be in line with the wall, which is going to be great. We will need some a lever so that we can close it, but then we're going to feel nice and safe. I do want to wrap up this episode, but I was going to say, I might want to make sure to queue up the lever first. Do we have a mechanics workshop? We do. Do we have a job to make mechanisms? I don't think we do. And mechanisms is definitely something we always want kicking around. Mechanisms are used for a variety of machines and our traps. So we're going to want, at our mechanics workshop, we're going to want a standing job to keep, like, probably 10 rock mechanisms kicking around. If we have less than 10, we'll do that. But I'm not going to queue up a bunch of it in bulk. I'm going to say we're just going to queue up 1 per day to not overload any dwarves. This is going to be a good example of that. I guess we'll make sure there's some rocks. I mean, in a sense, we want, you know, greater than 0 because I only need 1 for the mechanisms. But actually, I might leave the default of 10. Only make mechanisms if we have a good amount of hard rocks sitting around, because it's not really a priority. So as long as we've got at least 10, we're going to queue up a single job over here, 1 per day. It's kind of a chill, relaxed job, but that's going to be okay. Once those mechanisms get built, so that'll wait until next episode, we will build a lever, and we will hook the lever up to the bridge, which hasn't been completed yet anyway, and then we'll be able to seal ourselves off as needed when a big threat shows up on the map. That's lovely. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about sealing in the roof over here, which is going to have to wait until next time for some constructions to finish, but we're going to build a ramp just for now, just on the outside out of some block. We'll deconstruct it later. This is going to give us the ability to climb up here and walk along the edge of our walls over here on the upper floor, and we're going to drop a roof down. Well, a floor is what we're building a floor here, which is going to provide a roof for our fortress here and completely seal us in if some trouble happens. With that, we're going to wrap up this episode. Folks, thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.